Lily, but a reed could come in handy.
Always look for opportunities, as they say.
The spring brook emerges up there. It's still small here, but it becomes one of the largest and most important rivers in the woodland realm.
Yeah.
The waterfall and I have...
That's the throne room.
That leads up to the throne room. Mother will be conducting the affairs of state with an iron will, whilst Pa leans against the tree of life, probably sleeping. I'm not going up there. I've no appetite for discussions with Mother.
Okay, so not that way. Oh, a lonely bonsai.
A fairly small, unattractive tree.
Huh! I'd like to see how attractive you'd look if someone disturbed you on the pot in the morning.
You mean...
Anyway, what can I do for you, my little beauty?
Gun looks so great.
The garden always looks fantastic, Arbor.
Thank you. It's a girt load of work. People always think elf gardens are fabulous by their very nature. But you need a mighty good gardener.
You have got green fingers.
Ah, that's just moss, me dear. Happens if you spend all day grubbing around in the earth and don't wash your hands properly in the evenings.
Tell me something about this.
You tree shepherds do a great job.
Tree shepherds? The trees just stand there. What do they need a shepherd? However, I quite fancy one of those shepherd dogs. Hey, Rex, do you want to be my shepherd dog? Nah, my darling. I'm a gardener. Nothing more, nothing less.
Mother put me on a diet this morning so that I'll look perfect for my wedding.
Oh, everything has to be perfect for her. No such thing in nature, of course. Or rather, everything is perfect if you just let nature run its course.
You tell that to Mother.
I have, many times. She'd be very clever in some things, but very daft concerning that.
Now then, she is the queen.
I'm old enough to be able to call a spade a spade. Spade, gardener. Get it?
Yeah. What are you doing
What are
today?
you up to today then? Got much on?
Oh, the usual. You know, it never rains in the Elfborough, but the flowers need their water, so I water them every day.
Ah, the curse of good weather.
The weather isn't the only thing which isn't right. I've been here 30 years, and for 30 years we've had autumn.
Time passes differently in the Elfborough. Slower.
Well, that's why everyone grows to be ancient here, obviously. But if we had a bit of normal weather and the usual seasons, there'd be a lot more variety here.
Okay. You get along with Pavel?
You and Father, you get along well, don't you?
Ah, no one understands more about nature than him, that's for sure. But I don't often ask him for help. Thinking has never got a field dug, if you get my drift.
He's just more of a theorist.
The mud on your feet, the smell of fresh earth, all that joy and life. And he's missing out on the lot by just sitting around up there and doing nubbit.
I have to get on.
Yep, got a bit to do myself. I just don't know what's wrong with that plant over there.
Okay.
Your mother got a whole heap of flowers given to her the other day from a fairy delegation. All of them took good and strong, just not that one.
Perhaps it needs a special type of soil or something.
Well, anything's possible. If I don't think of something soon, I'll have to ask your father. He can have a little chat with her and she might tell him what's up.
If you're going in, it'd be nice if you didn't tell my mother that you saw me out here.
Oh, you playing hooky again? My lips are sealed.
Ah.
It doesn't look very well at all. It's unusual for flowers to hang their heads in this garden. Normally they blossom in our good earth, not to mention the power of Arbor's green fingers. If Arbor doesn't know what's wrong with the plant, then it's serious.
Okay. Go to the bench.
A lovely spot, so long as the bees who have built their hive directly above the bench don't disturb you. I don't have any time to rest, and that's good. At last I've got something to do again.
Okay.
Mother thought it was unseemly of the bees to build their hive in our garden. I don't think she could get used to the thought that she would no longer be the only queen here. I convinced Mother not to have the hive removed, and she reluctantly agreed. However, should she be stung, then the hive's days are numbered.
No, yeah, that's for sure.
I don't know the names of all the plants in the garden. Grandmother knows them all, which is probably down to the fact that it was her that gave many of the plants their names a few thousand years ago. Shite beerwood, sweat tea, dodder flower, fat hen, bistort, stink root. We no longer invite her to family gatherings.
Oh, you don't?
No idea what
Why
kind
not?
of bush this is, but its red fruit looks very yummy. If I learnt one thing in the woods, it's that you shouldn't eat anything you don't know, regardless of how yummy it looks.
I kind of agree with her on that one.
This is Mother's mirror. It's said that you can see into the furthest corners of the land and know what's happening in every part of the world. At the moment, it's no more than a shallow bowl. The water's missing. Mother pours water from various jugs into this bowl to cast a spell over the mirror. She did this almost daily in times gone by to ask the mirror who was the fairest elf in all the lands. Ever since the mirror started to hesitate with the answer a few months ago, she hasn't been using it quite so much. This is Mother's mirror. It's said that you can see into the... At the moment...
Okay. So, look at the stone.
A handy smooth stone. Arbor's sheepdog.
Let's take the sheepdog.
Arbor's pot. Literally. The earth looks dark and rich with worms squirming around in it. Presumably it's the best earth in the garden.
Okay. So nothing else can be done here right now. Okay. So...
Swords of all the idiots who have tried to conquer the elf burrow. It's become less frequent over the last few centuries. Humans and dwarves appear to have learnt their lesson.
So fine fantasy.
It's said that a ruler in the north wanted to build himself a throne out of all the swords of conquered enemies. Unfortunately, he died after only conquering one enemy when he refused to heed all the warnings and sat on the throne.
Okay.
It's said that a ruler in the north wanted to build... Unfortunately...
Yes. Yeah, so Final Fantasy. I think that's World of Warcraft, Arthas sword, Minecraft sword, Lord of the Ring, Final Fantasy again.
There's a
Oh,
selection of
continue
cubes
to-
here. For a while, it was all the rage at official state visits to give geometric presents. Each cube is significant and comes from a different country, but I never really paid much attention.
Okay, look at book.
The Biggest Plant Book of Avantasia by Charles Mendel with illustrations by Alexander Bonpland. A standard reference book that Arbor always used to consult every now and then. However, he insists that he now knows it off by heart. Perhaps I can help Arbor solve the problem with that flower. Let's take a look.
Okay, what do we have here?
Giant beans, also known as magic beans, are very rare. They are the fastest growing plant variety known. Because of the beans' high costs, they are almost exclusively used by the military, for instance, in storming high-walled castles. Giant beans, because of the
Okay. Killer tomatoes.
killer tomatoes are the most devious of the meat-eating plants. Disguised as tomatoes, they hunt on allotments for defenseless humans.
That doesn't sound too pleasant.
The tree of wrath bears fruit several times a year. These grapes of wrath are bad-tempered beasts that can lay whole areas to rack and ruin. The tree of wrath bears fruits.
Yeah, okay.
Steel magnolias look like normal magnolias, but are some of the toughest plants on Earth. They can be softened using tragic women's stories and subsequently may be picked.
Okay.
They can be
Okay.
Guard plants, Vigilia ordriensis, belong to the oldest domesticated plants of humankind. They have been especially valued in times of famine as they do not require as much food as, for instance, dogs. They can sometimes develop an unhealthy taste for blood. Baritones.
Yeah.
The wood of intelligent apple trees is often used for the equally intelligent and beautifully shaped living accessories of all types. For a long time, botanists thought that it may be possible to find other intelligent fruit varieties. So far, the search has proved fruitless. Mandrake should only be cultivated by experienced gardeners. The cry of the baby mandrake can kill anyone within 20 metres instantaneously.
Damn.
This plant reminds me of the one that Arbor's having problems with at the moment. Love lily. The love lily enters into an enduring relationship with another plant very early in its life, which frequently lasts its lifetime. If the partner plant dies, then the love lily does not normally survive the separation.
Oh, that's sad.
A present from one of the northern kingdoms. Strange folk up there. The men climb mountains and shout foul-mouthed things in dragon's language at the dragons. I think it's some kind of test of courage.
Oh god.
Helmets with horns. Cool, but useless.
No, not useless.
Goldsmithing, masonry, and a book about carpentry. Like all books in this library, it's a guest present. The logic behind this must be, those elves, they have so many beautiful statues and items of wood. They'll be really interested in this. Why don't we present them with a book about it? What they don't realise, though, is that if we're interested in a subject, then we'll already know pretty much all there is to know about the matter, and the book's of no use to us whatsoever.
Yeah, you got a point.
Working with wood. There's a master whittler down in the valley. I've enjoyed watching him in the past. He carves animal figures so real that humans and dwarfs believe that they are actually animals turned into wood.
Oh.
This one's more about interiors, making furniture and the like. Plane the wood down by a pixie's thumb and saw the board into 2 equal length pieces. Who knows what that might be good for?
Yeah, you never know.
Several books about animals, an atlas, a book about humans. Actually, more of a brochure. And what's this? Fishing for the moderately talented.
Hmm.
I haven't really got the time to sit and read a book, and if I had, it would definitely not be one about fishing. There must be a medical book for elves here somewhere.
Okay, so
A great example of the variety of our world's fauna. Some of the ideas Mother Nature has can be quite off the wall. Sometimes it's difficult to believe that some creatures in our world have developed naturally. They look as if some bored artist has dreamt them up.
Hello.
A few years ago, this dragon was causing a whole lot of grief. A bounty was put on its head, and all heroes of the land were encouraged to hunt it down. 40 brave warriors penetrated its lair and slew it. They brought the head to the palace where it was displayed in triumph. The strange thing was that a bit later more adventurers came carrying an identical head. Then more and more heroes arrived.
Yes, I wonder what that could be.
What have we got here then? Aha. Ah, Almanac of Elf Medicine. That's what I've been looking for.
Thank you.
Ow! Be
Sorry.
careful, if you please.
A speaking book?
An ill elf?
Do I look ill?
Ill elf. So I look ill. What's wrong with me?
Take it easy, young one thing at a time.
Young one. I'm older than you.
And you look it too.
I do?
No, of course not, and I can also see no illness. But the mere fact that I've been fished out from the back of the shelf for the first time in centuries tells me that something is wrong.
I'm not feeling well.
I haven't been feeling too well recently. I'm sleeping badly and have no appetite.